Well, hello. Welcome. Good to see you guys. I missed you guys too so much. That's why I'm doing this. I've got to tell you guys what's been going on with me, and obviously I want to do a reading for you guys. This energy has been so crazy. Hello, hi, clear. Tell you, I really miss the energy of the live readings. I'm going to try to do this a little bit more regularly now, if I'm able to. My schedule has been crazy. Hello, hi, hey guys. I work like 6-7 day weeks now. I'm a single mom. When I'm not working, I'm with my daughter. I am still doing services though, okay? In fact, I just got done with a spiritual coaching. So I am still doing services, okay? It's just YouTube has just been kind of on the back burner, so I do apologize for that. Also, as most of you guys know, who've been with me from the beginning, you guys know that I left a karmic, my soon-to-be ex-husband, okay? Finally filed suit for divorce. So I've been going through all of that, he's trying to use my channel against me. So I've been trying to kind of not be as prevalent on YouTube right now. My daughter is at stake here. So I'm having to really kind of navigate the hubris with all of that and the ego that's getting involved there. But I am hoping to at least maybe do something live once or twice a week with you guys, to at least keep that up clear. I hope you guys have been utilizing the forum. Thank everybody who has donated, so that we could keep that up and running. Because I know that right now, especially, a lot of us have been going through some serious darkness, culmination of karma, literally a shitstorm for a lot of us right now. And that's one of the reasons I kind of wanted to hop on too, is to let you guys know, I know exactly the energy everybody's going through. Okay. I know that it's scary right now. It's a lot of, not just confusion. It's almost a misdirection. Does that make sense? I feel like there's a lot that's showing up right now, and we're having to choose. We're having to make choices based on what we know is true, right? And hi, Sunny, how are you? Missed you too. Missed everybody so much. Clear. And a lot of us are having trouble trying to balance out what we're seeing with what we know, and understanding the difference between the two. I feel like just in general, a lot of illusions are being shattered right now. And it's like, and I said this before, but if this year has taught us anything, it's the whole idea that we really don't know. We really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and we have no control over it, right? We have to trust that everything's going to be all right. We have to know that in our hearts, we are strong. We are strong enough to get through whatever life throws at us. And I feel like right now, some of us are being faced with some separation, okay? Separation from our counterparts specifically. But also I feel a lot of us are literally separating from ourselves. Like we're at a point where it's almost like we're trying to disconnect from the journey because it's been so scary, especially within the last couple of months. And that it's like, why is this happening to me? I've been doing the work. Why are you punishing me? Those kinds of thoughts coming in, when in reality, we need to, again, just take every day as a lesson, take everything as a lesson. And knowing that we are literally in a better place now than we were before our awakenings. clear. And that being said, it's like we went through all this darkness and we had it really good. And it's like just whammo. And so it's kind of left a lot of us thinking, well, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Why are the bad things showing up now? I've been a good person. I've been doing good things. But we also have to understand that with the journey, with karma, especially, let's talk about karma for a second. You can't negate karma. Okay. I know this philosophy that good karma will always cancel out bad karma. I don't really believe in good karma or bad karma. There's just karma. No matter how much good you do, it's not going to make a karmic debt with someone go away. You still have to fulfill that debt. You still have to pay it or sever it or whatever it is that you're dealing with. Okay. So yeah, a lot of towers. Exactly. It's been a cluster. It's been a cluster of towers. Okay. And I know that everybody's feeling that because I feel like sometimes, I'm pretty sure that a lot of times I'm feeling you guys' fear on top of mine. And I've been having to do an energy dump, and differentiating which energy I'm feeling, whose energy I'm dealing with, whether it's mine or not, and focusing on mine. Okay. Because when you're a light worker or if you're in an elevated soul state, which, most of you who follow me are, in, a later soul stage. Okay. Some of you aren't. Some of you are still kind of in the middle of your soul stage, and that's great. You're here for your development. That's awesome. But even then, like when you go through ascension, no matter which soul age you are, you become a beacon for other people who are still in darkness, still in fear. It's like they see you and they're like, oh, okay, so this person, they know what they're doing. I'm going to give all of my karma to them. They can't really do that, but they try. Okay. And so what happens with those of us who are, especially if you're an empath, most of us are, when you feel that, you take it on as your own. So you have to really learn how to differentiate whose energy that you're dealing with, right? And deal with your stuff and not letting other people dump their stuff onto you. And that's really difficult, especially, if you have a counterpart who is still trying to send you karma to serve for them or what have you. It's difficult to say no because it's like, well, they're my counterpart. I should do it for them. No, you still have to deal with your stuff and they have to deal with theirs. And I think that's where a lot of the disconnect is. Those of us taking on energy that's not ours. Okay. Regardless of where it's coming from. I also feel just in general, a lot of us are dealing with some familial stuff still. Like this year, I feel has been mainly familial karma. So like, parental figures, children, even, extended family, sisters, brothers, that sort of thing coming in. Okay. So the people who are in your immediate soul group, 9 times out of 10, you have a major karmic debt with them. Some are more than others, obviously. And when you're in a family unit, it's like the closer these people get to you, it's like the bigger the debt. Does that make sense? So like, I know I have a lot of karma with my mother. I know that whether she was a mother in a past life or not, I have a lot of karma with her. Right. And so this year I feel like I'm clearing a lot of karma with my mother, possibly through my daughter, and that sort of thing. So keep in mind that the closer the people are to you, the harder it is for you to put up those boundaries, right? Because you feel an obligation to that person, right? And a lot of times what happens when we talk about ancestral karma and ancestral debt and things like that, if you have a grandparent or someone who's passed, maybe they had something they were supposed to do in their lifetime that they did not complete. And so therefore it passed on to their children. Their children didn't complete it. Therefore, it was passed on to you, so on and so forth, right? So the goal is to complete that debt or fulfill that contract, whatever it is, to prevent it from moving on to your children and so on and so forth. So that's what I feel like is coming into play right now, especially towards the end of the year. Oh, hi, Kayla. Hello. Hi, Tony. How are you? Thank you so much. Good to see you guys. So I feel like we're just at this point, it's just a culmination of everything just kind of hitting us at once, especially with the Scorpio moon coming in. We've got a Scorpio new moon. Okay. We had 2 full moons last month. In fact, I think the full moon in Taurus is the first time we've had a full moon on Halloween, and I don't even know how long, probably 30 years, or at least 30 years. So it's really heavy right now. We're at the beginning of a new decade. We're at the end of an old one, right? So endings and beginnings. And that's what I feel like is happening this year. It's just like, boom, here's your shit, deal with it. Right. And then there are people who just don't want to deal with their shit. And they're like, no, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to put it on somebody else. I'm going to blame somebody else. I'm going to give my power away to this group of people or this person or whatever, and have them deal with it. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just take responsibility for yourself, come to peace with your stuff, and then move on? Those of us who are going through the journey and understand that lesson, we are better people for it, and we know that. And I will tell you, I am a completely different person than I was 4 years ago. I know I control my own destiny. I feel so much better, even with everything I've been dealing with in the last couple of months. I know that I'm in a better place. And I know a lot of you know that too. It's just like trying to navigate everybody else's stuff that they're throwing at you, but also dealing with your stuff. It's very overwhelming. So I would recommend everybody just kind of take like 5-10 minutes a day and just whatever energy is in you that's not you, just take it out. Okay. And just deal with your stuff. Okay. And one other thing I will say, like, my perception's completely changed. And I know a lot of you guys also, this has happened to you. It's like a switch just completely flipped. And once that switch flipped and I realized that I control everything and I'm using that in my everyday life, you can go back and reflect and just see how many times and how often you have repeated that cycle of self-sabotage just by holding yourself in a position because you feel like you didn't deserve any better. It's amazing when you go back and think about it, just how much you have done that to yourself, right? And so taking responsibility for that onto yourself instead of blaming somebody else or blaming the system or whatever it is that you're going to blame, taking it on yourself, resolving that. I mean, like, okay, well, if I control my own stuff, I know I don't deserve to be stuck in this abusive cycle. I don't deserve abuse, right? That's not what love is. Love is not acquiescence. Love does not mean putting up with abuse, right? I know that I can move forward accordingly. Yeah, trying to stay balanced on a rocking boat at sea. Exactly. That's exactly how it feels. But knowing that and understanding that, and even every setback that you have in your life, setback, quote unquote, when you look at it as a learning opportunity, when you look at it as a lesson as opposed to a failure, as opposed to, oh no, I didn't do something right, or somebody's going to be disappointed in me, looking at it as an opportunity for growth, it changes your entire outlook on life. It makes things that come at you so much easier to deal with. And once you get on the other side of it, you look back at it and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad, right? Bring on the next one. So yeah, exactly. So don't hold space in your heart. The heart grows and multiplies. Exactly. Self-love, that's exactly it. And loving yourself enough to say no, when you know that something may actually end up hurting you. Okay. And it's not up to you to make someone else feel better. That's on them. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I think we take on too much sometimes, especially as empaths. It's like we want others to feel better, so therefore we sacrifice ourselves. You have to get out of that mindset. Okay, that's the empath narcissist dynamic. That's how you get stuck in an abusive cycle, right? And I think we're seeing it right now with a lot of people who are still holding on to their divine counterparts who maybe aren't clearing their karma the way that they should. They aren't moving out of karmic situations. They aren't taking responsibility for their own soul growth. And instead, they're choosing their karmic or they're choosing their karma and moving away from the sacred space. There's those of us who like, okay, well, I've cleared my karma. Why can't you clear yours? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Focus on you. Once you release that, once you say, okay, well, I'm going this way, bye, I wish you the best, that's when doors start opening for you. That's when you're in the receiving energy and you start receiving the abundance that you're craving. Does that make sense? It's kind of like when we let go of the need to know, that's when you get clarity. It's exactly the same thing. Yeah, they feed on control. Exactly. In different ways. It's like two sides of the exact same coin. Yes. Relationships can rekindle. Absolutely. Like you can clear karma with somebody and then start over. Okay. Sometimes you can't. In my case, it's not going to happen and that's fine. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, let it go. Let it go. Anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do a reading for you guys. I want to see what the overall energies are here. Although I kind of already know, and I know you guys already know, but hey, sometimes it helps to see it. Yeah. Yeah. The twin flame stuff, I obviously I believe in it. And I'll tell you, I am so much a better person since I met my divine counterpart. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he chose his karma. It doesn't matter. I'm a better person because he showed up when he was supposed to. So regardless of all of that, it doesn't matter. Like I'm moving on into a new path. You know, KOC has shown up in a huge way. And actually I'm going to touch on something that Kayla said before, where it's like, a lot of us confuse the fact that maybe twin flames are divine counterparts, but that's not always true. Your twin flame may not be your divine counterpart for this lifetime. Okay. And I'm starting to see that. And actually, I've been seeing it for a while. So that to me is very significant. The idea that this person showed up when they were supposed to for my soul growth so that I could move forward and receive what source was sending me. Right. And that was the point. And actually, Liz, Guided by Angels, says it all the time. It's like my twin flame or something better, please. That's exactly it. So like remembering not to place so much expectations on one person, because honestly, it's almost like you're overwhelming that person. When you send that energy of expectation to that person, if they're not ready to receive it, if they're not ready to deal with their stuff, they're not going to, and it's just going to frustrate you. Right. So here, yeah, okay, so this is interesting. So we've got wish you were here, which again, a lot of you still kind of in this longing energy, but some of you, I don't feel this is your counterpart. It's almost like you're reaching out to source. It's like some of you feel like you're disconnected from source. Some of you feel like source forgot you because of everything you're going through, and that's not true. That's not true. I will say I have noticed sometimes, at least in my case, source is kind of like a hands-off approach to me. It's almost like, okay, well, I'm going to throw this at you and see how you do. Right. But I know, if I know in my heart that everything's going to be fine, it does end up being fine. Right. It's a test of faith. It's a test of trust, and you can't have trust or faith without the other. You can't, they're not synonymous, but you can't have one without the other. Right. Play. So some of you, this is inner child stuff that's coming up right now too. Like I said, familial karma. Some of you is familial karma, but I also think this is just a reminder for us to remember that everything is a lesson, and to try not to beat yourself up over things, especially that are out of your control, like other people or situations. The only thing you can control is you. You can't control the future. You can only control the now. And some of you just need a break. Some of you have been taking things way too seriously. You just, and I get that. I get it completely. It's hard to get out of that energy when you're in it. It's incredibly difficult. But you have to remember, this is not it. This is not it. What you're in right now is not going to last forever. Okay? You will ride the wave. You will come through it. You will see the light. You know, stop taking everything to heart. Okay? Don't deflect it. Learn from it. But don't get stuck in that fear cycle and keep yourself in like, I guess like kind of a dark night of the soul energy, but worse because you're not getting out of it. Dark night of the soul is there to teach us something, and we know that. Most of us know that when we're going through it, and so we put up with it, we deal with it. But sometimes it's like things happen to us, and we're like, "Why is this happening to me? Why, yada yada." And we start thinking about things that we've done in the past. We start thinking about, maybe I did something to this person, and that's why this is happening. It's like you're overthinking it. You're taking it too seriously. Okay. Just release the knowing. Yeah, conflict. A lot of us, yeah, this is coming in big. Major conflict going on. I mean, just look at the world right now. But this is happening within us too. Some of us are having some serious conflicts within ourselves right now. Major ego death happening right now. But I still feel like a lot of this is we're not seeing the bigger picture. Some of us have lost sight of the bigger picture. And that the whole point of the journey, is growth, birth, rebirth. And what's happening right now are endings so that we can have a new beginning. Okay, so like I said, we're at the end of a decade, but the beginning of a decade at the same time. Ending and the beginning, right? So it's a time for rebirth. And I feel this is going to continue probably into about, I think February. I'm getting February. I always get like, I don't know exactly when in February, but I'm getting February for some of you. Okay. And yeah, some of you may go through another separation with your counterpart. Some of you may not. Some of you may actually come together with your counterpart after a long separation. It's just going to depend on what's supposed to happen, really. Okay. So just take everything as a learning experience. And remember that you can only control you. Wow. I love when that happens. Hang on a second. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to take a look at the feminine energy first. See what we got overall for the feminine. Whoa. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. These two came out. So we've got fish and coffin. So what did I just say? Okay. So this is interesting because I feel like a lot of us are in some emotional upheaval. So we're talking about the feminine energy now. So this could be divine feminine, but it could also be just your feminine energy within you. Okay. A lot of us are definitely in some emotional upheaval about these endings that are happening right now. We are dealing with some major karma right now, and it is pulling the heartstrings. Okay. Some of you, your heart chakras are trying to open and you're closing them up. Okay. Don't do that. Whatever comes, you need to deal with it. You need to face it. Okay. And just understand that the endings have to happen. Otherwise, you're just going to stay where you are. Okay. Some of you are literally seeing what you're going through right now is like the worst thing you've ever gone through. And it's like, you feel like you're never going to recover from this. And that's not true. That's not true. That's an illusion. That's an illusion. Some of you are still stuck in your illusions about these endings that are happening, that they are for your highest good. You just have to see that. And remember what I said at the beginning before I even started pulling cards, that some of us are going in the conflict. This is kind of coming in with the conflict, is that we are having to choose between what we see and what we know. There's a disconnect between what we see and what we know, right? And so when you know that should be a light bulb for you. Okay, so whatever it is you're dealing with right now, forget what you see. What do you know? What is your higher self telling you right now about your situation? Yeah, Two of Swords. Bingo. Boom. There you go. Decision time. You have to choose. And this has happened before. Middle of this year, a lot of us were being faced with choosing between truth and illusion, right? And knowing that reality is not necessarily truth unless you have integrated truth within your reality, right? Because everybody has a different reality. Changing your perception is how you change your reality, right? So feminine energy, very much in decision mode right now, but you're having to really, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Okay. This actually helps because it's like you're having to choose between letting your guard down and keeping your power. And it's almost like neither one, it's like you don't know what to do. You don't know which one you need to do here. And there is kind of a fine line between being in surrender doesn't necessarily mean that you're giving your power away. I think for some reason there's a huge disconnect with that. Giving your power away, surrendering doesn't necessarily mean you're giving your power away. You're not giving up. You're in your receiving energy. And some of you are still in this defensive energy about the choice that you need to make. Some of you are still making excuses for the illusions that you've been operating under, right? You're not taking responsibility for it. Yeah, and it's triggering you big time. Like you feel incredibly triggered because of it. Some of you, this has to do, maybe some stuff's coming through right now that is shaking everything you thought you knew. And it could be about, again, I was talking about familial karma. It could be about somebody who's really close to you, not even your counterpart, like somebody who's close to you, like a parent or a loved one of some sort. And you're being illuminated to this, and you're just like, this is hurting me bad, right? And some of you are absolutely terrified that this relationship or whatever it is might end. It might need to. It might need to come to a head so that you can figure it out, right? Because what's ending right now is literally mental slavery, okay? Spiritual slavery, okay? Maybe this person, you've been indebted to this person, you've been paying them back, this debt that you've been paying back, but now it's time to end that cycle. You've paid that debt, it's done, it's time to move on. So maybe that person needs to be, I hate to say, like, not really gone from your life, but you need to release whatever attachment you have to this person or this soul or this addiction or whatever it is that's keeping you here. Okay? And it could be your counterpart. Keep that in mind. Okay? Could be your counterpart. Yeah, boom. High priest. Divine masculine. So it could literally be, for some of you, your divine masculine or even your masculine energy. Okay? This could be your masculine energy coming in and being like, keeping you stuck here. Okay? You're kind of off balance. Okay? But that's really, it's like it's showing you that's the key right there. Right? Is to accept the ending for what it is. Okay? And to stop fighting it. Stop trying to control it. Okay? Hi, hey, glad to see you. Thank you for joining us. All right, so let's take a look at the masculine energy. Wow, yeah, okay, so rebirth happening with the masculine energy right now too. A lot of them think they can get away with things. Like a lot of them think they can get away with not facing their stuff. Yeah, they feel like they can get away with putting their karma on somebody else. Some of them are trying to literally run away from their karma. They're trying to run away from the rebirth that's actually happening. They don't want to deal with it at all. Some of them don't. Some of them are actually dealing with it, but they're not letting on that they're dealing with it. Okay, they have this front going on. They have this deception going on with people around them that they're fine. Okay. When, they're not. Okay. And it's like, they're also in this decision mode. They're being faced with some pretty heavy things right now. A lot of them are being faced with, I'm getting like money issues. Some of them, it's like crap has really hit the fan. And they're struggling financially, possibly health-wise. Some of them are still struggling with some addictions, whether that's, drugs, alcohol, sex addiction, whatever it is. I feel like a lot of them are battling their distortions right now. And it's like they're rejecting their sacred self in favor of their distortions because of how things appear to other people. So it's like they're sacrificing themselves for optics. Again, having to choose between what they see or what they project and what is true. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So devil in reverse, right? Yeah. So a lot of them are still stuck in these distortions. And it's like they're refusing to release them. They see them. Some of them, they see them, but it's like they're pretending they don't. Right? They're pretending they don't see them, which is, you know, not good, obviously. But it's leading them to, I feel like a lot of them are returning to some addictions, maybe that they had released earlier this year. And it could be, you know, because of, they're going to blame the stress of the year, obviously, the things that have been happening this year. But a lot of it just has to do with them. They're not accepting the endings that are happening right now. And so they're resorting to destroying themselves, to self-sabotage. Yeah. Yeah. They're resorting to self-sabotage. It's keeping their abundance from coming through. They're literally holding their own abundance hostage right now because they don't want to face their shit. Okay. And again, this could be divine masculine, but it could also be your masculine energy. This could be the conflict within you that I've been talking about, that between the feminine trying to get over some of the endings that are coming through and deal with them, where the masculine energy is trying to hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay. So keep that in mind. This could be you, period. All right. Yeah. Emperor in reverse. Boom. And that's interesting because we've got repeat cards here that are in reverse that we just saw in the feminine energy coming in the reverse in the masculine. So that to me, obviously mirroring, right? So you're literally mirroring each other right now. You're almost polar opposites. Okay. So the masculine energy is just giving his power away. That's exactly what's happening here. Okay. He's given into his addictions. He's given into his distortions, which is holding his abundance at bay. But what he's doing is blaming everybody else for the abundance going away instead of taking responsibility for himself. And boom, what happens with that? Tower. Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started on that. Could go all day. But yeah, boom, tower. Okay. So when you hold yourself hostage, when you keep yourself stuck in a situation, it's like source is like, well, you've got to move. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to make this move. Here's a tower. Right? You can't hide from this anymore. How interesting is that? You got the fox, right? You can't hide from this anymore, masculine. You can't. You can't hide from your illusions. I'm going to show you exactly what it is you need to face. Okay? And I'm going to do it the hard way. You're going to feel it. I'm going to do it the hard way. So, and again, this could be masculine energy. Some of us are facing some serious towers right now. Some of us have been refusing to see the truth. And it's like, boom, tower. But you knew that all along. You knew this was coming. You just chose not to see it. Right? You chose to sabotage yourself. Right? What goes around comes around, right? Isn't that the rule of karma? So yeah, I feel like that's what's happening with a lot of people right now, masculine, feminine. All right, so let's take a look at connecting energies. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting too because we've had, you know, how many times the coffin or the death cycle or the devil has come up with the endings and the toxicity. I mean, this is what's being cleared right now in the connection. Okay, the distortions. The distortions are being cleared away right now. And I feel like it's speeding up. I feel like I'm going to say within the last 4 or 5 months, things have really been kind of speeding up. Does that make sense? It's like things were kind of stagnant and then all of a sudden it's like, here you go. Right? But I feel like a lot of you that this also has to do, some of you with communication, some of you there maybe have been some communication, maybe between you and your counterpart or with somebody else about your situation that has really triggered you to have to deal with your shit. Right? And it's like, well, I guess, you know, eventually you have to pay the piper. And so it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to deal with it. But some of you are like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I've got too much. Here. All right, let's see. Whoop. I don't know. I feel like some of you may actually get some communication if you haven't had any for a while. Towards the end of the year. Yeah. Some of you just feel like it's not worth it. Some of you feel like these connections just aren't worth the pain. And you have to understand it's not the connection. It's not the connection that's worth it. It's not the connection that's worth it. It's you. It's you. It's the journey. So get out of that. Get out of that mind space, guys. Yeah, you guys, right now, I think it's so important to understand exactly what you're manifesting for yourself. Okay. If you're in a negative energy, you're going to manifest negativity. Some of you are trying to manifest the connections, but the problem is that, again, what I said earlier about, placing expectations. Some of you are still placing expectations on these manifestations that you're making. And I think it's well-meaning, but I think it's misplaced. Don't manifest the connection. Manifest your abundance. Manifest your way forward. Okay? Your counterpart follows suit, great. If they don't, that's on them. You deal with your stuff. Yeah. Manifestation of the abundance and truth. So that's what's coming through right now. Some of you are still trying to manifest some stuff in the 3D as regards the connection. Some of you are trying to manifest communication. But a lot of this I do feel is misplaced. Again, maybe you should be manifesting your abundance, okay? Your truth, the truth that you need to speak. Some of you have been still really afraid to speak your truth to other people about the things you've been through. Maybe some of you have kind of disconnected from friends, afraid that you're going to be rejected. But the thing is, there might be somebody in your inner circle who's waiting for you to tell them what you've been through so that they can acknowledge what they've been through. Everybody's been through something this year. It's supposed to, this year is like the big awakening, right? It's been triggering massive spiritual awakenings across the globe, right? So maybe somebody, in the contract is waiting for you to speak up, to trigger them into their awakening. Okay, so you're manifesting the connection, but maybe you actually need to manifest your way forward. There's something that you're supposed to be doing right now. Okay, which of course will bring success and abundance, which is obviously the energy you want to be in. Okay, so get out of the self-sabotage stuff, release the expectations that you're manifesting, okay, and stop focusing so much on how to get there. You're putting your energy out there. You're putting the intention out there and releasing the how. Okay, the how will present itself eventually. Okay, the how will present itself eventually. You just really have to open yourself up and be in that receiving energy in order to get what you're putting out. Does that make sense? You get what you give. Okay, so I mean, throat chakra, my throat chakra is closing up. So some of you, it's definitely a throat chakra issue right now. Some of you are just not speaking up. You're needing to speak up right now. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do some messages. You overshare with the wrong people. I don't think you overshare with the wrong people. I think the people you shared with weren't ready to receive what you had to say. And so they outright rejected it. And so it made you feel rejected. But I guarantee you planted some seeds. Okay. When they're ready to receive the message, they will. Hi, Meg. What in? Okay. Let's see. So don't feel regret. Don't feel regrets for sharing what you needed to share. I shared my journey with a lot of people. And I'm sure people thought I was crazy, and that's okay. But you know what? I planted a lot of seeds, and I learned a lot from people. And I actually ended up interacting with other people who were going through soul journeys. And they felt misunderstood. They didn't think anybody would know what they were talking about until I started talking about it. And they're like, oh my gosh, I've always wondered why this, and that. So I've actually built some relationships because of it. So don't be afraid to share your journey with people. If you feel called to, do it. There's a reason, okay? So messages from counterpart. Yeah, you're always going to get projection. So don't worry about that. That's on them. Yeah, here you go. Bingo. We are mirroring. Appearances are deceiving. Again, seeing and knowing. Two different things right now. Big disconnect. Yeah, I know. Yeah, masculine burning some serious bridges right now. Feel like masculine energy just in general is pissing a lot of people off. Mm-hmm. Yep. The cake is a lie. The cake is a lie. All right. Oops. All right, so let's get some messages and advice from source. There we go. I love this. Your life is a canvas. It's exactly what I just said. Manifestation. Be very careful with your thoughts right now, guys. If you're in a negative energy, you're manifesting like crazy. You're going to manifest the negativity. Okay? Remember to change your perception. Knowing that you control you and you control the now makes it a lot easier to move forward. Okay? That's how you manifest. Okay? Yeah, okay, so this is interesting. Multifaceted, unique nature. Some of you are suppressing yourself. Some of you are so afraid of what other people are going to think of you that you're not doing what you're called to do. You're afraid of it. And I know I told you guys you're going to be persecuted, and I know I said at the beginning of this video that's happening to me right now. Okay? It's like what I'm doing here with this channel here is being used against me. Okay? That's why I had to take a bit of a break. All right. But you have to understand that it's going to happen. And the reason it's happening is because there are people out there who are going to misunderstand what you say, number one. Number two, they're not going to be ready to receive. Okay. And three, they're afraid of the truth. Okay. That's not on you. That's on them. Okay. If you're called to share something with someone, do it. There's a reason. There is a reason. Okay. Don't be afraid of the outcome. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. That's exactly it. And I said this also at the beginning. Okay. If you've got people around you who are putting energy on you, like for example, I had to finally tell someone very close to me that they needed to stop sending me their stress because I was handling their stress and my stress at the exact same time. I was like, I don't need this right now. I can't do this right now. I need emotional support. I can't handle your stress too. Sometimes you have to love yourself enough to tell someone, even that is very close to you, that enough is enough. And you know what? That person backed off. That person understood. That person said, you know what? You're right. I'm here to support you. So don't be afraid of the outcome. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Set your boundaries, guys. You've got to set your boundaries. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I really hope this helped. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. It was really great to see everybody. I'm going to try to do, once or twice a week, maybe live if possible, because I really want to get back into doing the YouTube stuff. I really love you guys so much, and I love being able to help you. And I know I've lost like 30 subscribers since I haven't been posting, but I really appreciate everybody who's stuck around and for your support. And I appreciate your understanding. And I am still doing services, guys. Like my website's still live. I'm doing a lot of SRT and spiritual coachings right now. Like those have been coming in like crazy. Just be aware that I'm still here to help. If anybody needs to talk about anything, that's perfectly fine. Use the forum, utilize the forum, help each other. But I'm always here. Send me an email. I can't always reply right away, but I'll try to get to you as soon as I can. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, absolutely. Katarina, thank you guys so much for joining me. But I'm gonna go ahead and go. I've got some stuff I need to do today while I'm off. So yes, you guys too. Go team. Go team. But I appreciate you guys so much. And I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Love you guys. Bye.